Hey everyone, this is Rafaro and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be reading out loud for the first time ever, reading out loud my personal statement for graduate school at the Columbia University. So here goes. Just a disclaimer, I wrote not a disclaimer, FYI. I wrote this statement in 2020. So during the pandemic, when I was figuring out, when I was waiting to start off my career in consulting, and I was also interested in graduate school, so I was trying to see what I want. So I would love to hear your comments and your feedback and what you guys think about this. So let's just get into it, shall we? Okay, so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to actually read it out word for word, and then I've made some comments just to highlight why I wrote that and to see if I was answering the question. Then at the end I will rate myself, and you guys can rate me in the comments section. And this rating, after you rate, also give like a maybe like an explanation so someone else can learn from this, because the purpose of this video is for someone who's applying for graduate school who needs a personal statement to see, okay, what can I learn from Rafaro's statement? What should I do and not do? Or someone who's just curious, like, why would someone want to go to grad school? And then they listen to this and like, oh, okay, what do I rate those girl? So, yeah. Anywho, here goes. Whoo! Lord, here we go. Young Rafaro. As an undergraduate, I majored in finance because I wanted to equip myself with the skills to educate my community on the economic factors that had affected their wealth and their living conditions. Before university, I studied economics at the IGCSE level in Zimbabwe, earning an A star, ching ching, for I was incredibly passionate about the subject after having watched my parents lose their entire pension fund due to hyperinflation. So this is my first paragraph. I introduce myself. Background. So important. I tell them where I'm from. I tell them a bit about my parents, the country I'm from, and then, I'm sharing something unique about myself. The next paragraph. After 3 years in college, I took on the role of the president of the National Association of Black Accountants, NABA, because I wanted to learn how to be an effective leader and be the change that I wanted to see on my campus. Learning in a dominantly poor African American community, I quickly observed the lack of financial literacy around campus. My role in NABA enabled me to make an impact. Under my leadership, the organization was able to initiate discussion sessions on campus where we shared what we had learned in our finance, economics, and accounting classes, such as the importance of insurance, how to get involved in the financial markets, and other financial skills. I realized that for the changes to be made in society, one must possess a love for people and have the ability to listen to their stories. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Here, I'm stressing leadership in the second paragraph. I'm highlighting my responsibilities on campus. I want them to know that I made an impact and that I cared about my community. Another thing I forgot to mention in the first paragraph when I talked about my background, I also highlighted my why, right? So here I share why I got educated in finance, because I watched my parents go through a lot and I don't want other people to go through the same situation. Then paragraph 3. The more I submerged myself in financial literacy issues, I noticed something familiar that I had left back in Zimbabwe: lack of financial inclusion. I threw myself into researching, joining the International Center for IT and Development on my campus as the only undergraduate student amongst master's and Ph.D. students, to better understand the issues of financial inclusion on the African continent. So here, I mentioned what I wanted to research on because that's my why. As I'm going into the program, I want to do finance and economics because I want to focus on financial literacy and financial inclusion. I want to carry out research on this topic. So I found it important for me to earlier on highlight what I was already doing on campus about financial literacy at undergraduate level, that when I get to the master's, baby, I'm going to be running on financial literacy, financial inclusion. I'm going to be making an impact. Let's proceed. So, I completed a paper titled Bridging the Gap on Financial Inclusion, a Review on Kenya, which I presented at the Louisiana Academy of Sciences and at LSU Discover Day in 2008. This research is what stirred the idea of pursuing a master's program in economics. I discovered that developing countries must seek solutions that are specifically tailored for them and based on their morals and cultures, and I would like to pursue this thought as I continue to grow in my research. I have always been one to question the societal norms, and pursuing higher education will equip me with the skills to do this at a higher level. Something to note, you've got to highlight your achievements, and I told them that my research paper had been selected somewhere, and I've presented a research paper. I'm very proud of these papers that I wrote and presented because it was a lot of reading, learning, researching, and I truly, truly enjoyed that. Paragraph 4. With the International Center for IT and Development at Southern University and A&M College, I worked with the Fulbright Scholar for 2 semesters, assisting them with their research. In this position, I collected primary data for social media using Excel tools to compile this data. This experience taught me how to collect masses of data and convert it into telling a story. So now that I look back at this paragraph, I could have said more. Basically, what I was doing working with this Fulbright Scholar, it was very tedious, but collecting information from social media on small business owners in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to see if social media, networking, coverage, etc., has an impact on their business. And the first thing I was doing was looking at, let's say, likes. So do likes have a correlation to impact on the business? Do shares, things like that, engagement. That's what I was doing. I could have better articulated that, but this is Rufara from 2018, so she did her best, girl. Then, paragraph 5. As part of my graduating duties, I carried out and defended my honors thesis titled Financial Literacy and Savings Culture Among African Americans, a Review. This journey allowed me to challenge myself, meeting my academic demands, leadership demands, as well as fulfill my duties on the tennis court as I was a student athlete. I was tasked to carry out interviews and interpret the information, then present it. This process enhanced my organizational skills and my presenting skills, which I believe are important for this master's program. So, I was trying a little something, trying to show them that the skills that I believe you require to excel and succeed for this master's program, I already gained them as an undergrad. So I don't know if that helped or didn't. Again, I'm stressing all these things I do to show them that I can manage, a heavy load, that I am multifaceted, and I think that's very important to be able to do. Let me proceed. I was able to articulate my findings well and identify where additional research must be done. One of my 2020 goals is to publish my research article and develop it by focusing on more concentrated groups within the African American community. The resources and opportunities I will receive at Columbia University will enable me to achieve this goal. During my time at Columbia University, I would like to grow my research and publish more research articles. I'm very passionate about helping minorities improve their way of life, and my career goal is to empower minorities by creating more tools that enable them to be financially included and financially independent. I've begun working towards this with my blog page. Additionally, I plan to develop an application to fulfill this. So here are a few things to note in this paragraph. I said a lot. First of all, crazy that 2020 was a goal. So I wrote this in 2019. I'm reading this 2022, 3 years from when I wrote this. Mind blown. it's nice to see that I had dreams of doing a PhD. Then I had a podcast called Jen Dollar. So, was it Jen? Yeah, Jen Dollar. So Jen was for like Generation Zs, and then Dollar, like, that money. And I was just really educating people about financial literacy and things like that. Yeah. And something that I did in this paragraph was I mentioned during my time at Columbia University, this is what I will do. I think it's important to say that so that you see yourself in that place and they can see the contribution you'll make to the program and what you'll benefit from that program. Anyway, paragraph, we're running out of hands, 6. Last summer, I entered as a financial services business advisory intern in the market risk division. This position enabled me to understand the roles of financial institutions during the financial crisis. I was able to understand the changes that banks and governments are making to protect people. This was very insightful. With each new thing I learned, I was questioning the changes that developing economies such as Zimbabwe, which I could best relate to, were making to improve their financial climate. My experience interning in market risk will help me with some of the economics classes at Columbia University. I believe that I will have greater background knowledge of financial institutions and financial markets and how they affect society. This will enable me to have better contributions towards the discussions in class like finance and real economics classes. I tried. This paragraph, I really tried. I mentioned my work experience, right? Which is very important. I mentioned how my experience working as in advisory in market let me get my thoughts. I mentioned my experience working as a financial services consultant under the risk team would be very insightful. Basically, what we did here was worked with large investment banks to basically make sure that another financial crisis wouldn't happen. Another 2008 wouldn't happen. So large banks had enough capital to withstand any kind of like hit, so their reserves were fine. They were giving out good loans, things like that. Another thing here, I was trying to show them that I did research on the classes. So I'm dropping the finance class, the real economics class. I'm dropping names. I do think I could have better developed this paragraph. But again, this was me just going off of what I'd researched from the internet. But I should have met up with people to learn more about what they actually learn in these classes so I could bring more life to that paragraph. Anyway, paragraph 7 out of 10. The last two are pretty small. Upon my actually 9, my bad. Then, upon my completion of my master's program, I would like to pursue my Ph.D. In economics. My career objective is to become an economist and work with developing countries to help them achieve sustainable growth. Growing up in Zimbabwe, I watched the financial markets crash as banks collapsed, trickling down, affecting industries and the entire economy. Experiences like this have highlighted the importance of understanding how economies function. Joining Columbia University and taking courses like economic development, I will gain a better understanding of these effects. I will be able to gain a different perspective from a developed world and carry that to the developing world. So first of all, let me pause. Let me pause. I said I would like to pursue my PhD. This is undergraduate, Rafaro. When I was in school, I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't care what PhD I got. I just wanted to be called doctor before I was called Mrs. Anyway, God has other plans for y'all when you grow up. But no, now that I'm in my graduate program, no. This will be the last degree that I will be receiving because school is difficult and I've got no plans of being called doctor unless it's an honorary degree. So, yeah. Anyway, 2 more to go. I am aware that the economics program is a mathematics intensive program, and I have enrolled in online statistics classes to gain additional training and acquire additional preparations for my classes. Here, I believed it was important to mention this because the dean at Southern, where I went to school, would tell me that these days economics programs are basically like getting a degree in maths, and I don't really like maths that much. I used to think I did, then realized I don't like maths. So I knew that in my undergrad program, I didn't take a lot of maths classes as a finance major. So I wanted them to see that when they looked at my transcripts, they can see, will she be prepared? And then also my GRE score was not that great. So I wanted to show them that I am putting in the work. I'm enrolled in statistic classes, so I will be prepared when I start this program. Then my conclusion. Here we go. Attending Columbia University and pursuing my master's in economics will take me one step closer to achieving my career goals and my purpose. My undergraduate degree in finance, accompanied by my master's degree in economics, will provide me with a holistic approach towards doing works in the space of financial inclusion and financial literacy. Whew. When I wrote that, I thought that was such a banging ending. So for that last paragraph, as I was concluding, I just wanted to show them that I understand the program again, going back to highlighting the mathematics part. Then, as I read through this again, it just really shows me, first of all, let me just clap for myself. Clapping for you, Rafaro. I think this was pretty good. So, clapping for myself because the fact that I started a personal statement, I wrote it, I shared my thoughts, where I wanted to go, where I thought I wanted to go, put it on paper and submitted it. First of all, that's pretty impressive because that's scary. I would like to reflect on this because as I read this now, my journey has changed. Yes, I am in a graduate program, but I did work full-time before going for my master's degree. I worked for a short time, but I did work. Then going for my master's degree, I actually did end up doing my master's degree in economics. So let me tell you about that. I applied to Columbia University and then I didn't get accepted. So yeah. Honestly, I think my GRE score was too low. I wrote the GRE twice. First time I didn't really study that much. I thought it was just like taking the SATs, which I took then I taken 4 years ago. So not like the SATs. GRE was really hard. I took my final GRE exam on the 31st of December of 2019. Yep. I remember Christmas Day, my friend was like, let's go. I'm going to this person's house for Christmas. Come. And I was like, no, I have to study. Literally, I was studying so hard. And then I didn't get the score I wanted, which is fine because that was a blessing in disguise. Now I'm actually enrolled in a program where I'm doing my master's in financial analytics. And it's not as maths intensive. I'm enjoying it. And I'm happy with that because if I look at it, I would have done economics and I realized I actually did not want to take that route now that I'm in this program. And I've got no desires of being a PhD because a lot of people who do masters in economics do a program or a track to PhD, and that's not my desire. Research, I really loved researching as an undergraduate because I had time for all of that, researching, reading and stuff. As a master's student, I haven't done much of that, and I don't think I'm still as passionate about that. So it's pretty interesting to go back and see where I've come from and where I'm going. I will again applaud myself for putting in the work, really trying to tell them my background, what I want to do, what I like, my purpose, my why then. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough, but that's still fine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts before I go. I've got to rate myself. I would rate myself, That's a good question. So I would give myself a 5 out of 5 for from this I can tell my fire and passion for what I believed in. 5 out of 5. For quality of this paper, probably a 3, because there are paragraphs where I could have said more and I didn't, maybe because I just didn't know how to. And then for overall structure, I would give myself 4, just in the middle, because I think I did a pretty good job of just showing up and doing my best. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and share it with someone who's preparing for grad school. If you guys would want to do this, oh my goodness, please join this and read out your personal statement and tag me. I don't know how you do it on YouTube, but you can find a way to tag me. I'd love to come for the, ride along as you guys go through where you started and where you are right now. But for now, bye guys. And